Alright, so the moment everyone's been waiting for on these videos is going to be the moment we talk about exercise. And exercise is very unique. People look at it from many different angles based on their experiences, and my experience is a little bit different than most people. So I went to school for law, then I went to law school for a little bit and just decided that wasn't for me. Meanwhile, I was a personal trainer throughout and I enjoyed it, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to make that my career. So I look at exercise a little bit different, and one way that really stood out to me is the recent years, and I've been doing it for about 12 years now, was looking at a very kind of basic level and then growing from there. So sometimes when we look at things like squats, bench press, Olympic lifts, they're a very multi-joint, multi-dimensional movement, and they're very complex. So they're harder to coach based off there's a lot of strategies used to get there. So one way to look at it, if you're going to start training now or you're looking to start coaching people now, it's a little bit more simple if you start with just single joint action movements. So you might think of it more of a bodybuilder kind of type style working out, but it allows for you to learn yourself, to teach yourself how to move and what things feel like and don't feel like. And you might wonder, oh, well, how do I know how to do that? Well, a very simple way to do it is to go to the basic biomechanic way of looking at it. So if I was to train my bicep, I would look on there, okay, what is the primary function of the bicep? I'll look this up on the internet search, Google, whatever you choose to look up, and it'll show you exactly the bicep and what it does on the human body. So if you look at the bicep, what it does is it turns the palm outwards, which is turns the forearm, and then it flexes the elbow. Boom, boom. That's the primary function of the bicep. So if I want to train my biceps, I'm going to turn my palm, flex the elbow. Now, if you do that many times, you'll start to get into your bicep and so on. Now, when it comes to how much weight should I use on that exercise, well, if you have any type of weight, right, and you can't turn your palm nor go through that full range of that motion, it's a little bit heavy. I'll tell you now, it is a lot better, not only physically, but mentally, to err on the side of light. I do this with clients all the time. I'll put some light weight on there, they'll do the exercise, they'll perform it correct, and I'll cheer them on and be like, man, you're too strong for that exercise, let me add some more weight for you. Where on the other side, if it's too heavy, they'll do the exercise and they can't do it, or they perform it to not your standards, and then you're like, oh, let me lower the weight, and it feels like shit, right? So you make sure you always lead someone to success. That should be the primary goal as a coach, or for yourself in general. You want to win, okay? When it comes to exercise, that should be the number one driving factor, right? It'll allow you to do more reps, it'll allow you to perform more, and it'll allow you to come back to the gym and want to come back to the gym. Once you get a little bit better at it and you get confident and you create a habit and a pattern, then you can find different strategies for you to make you come into the gym if you like. Now, we talked about the bicep. You can literally do that for every muscle, right? Can it get a little silly? Absolutely it can, but that's just what us coaches do. It's our job. If I see someone having a hard time with bringing their leg in or the leg out, I'm like, oh, what's the primary function of that muscle that does that? Oh, it's the adductor. Okay, do I ever use the adductor for anything else? Oh, I don't know. Then you look at different strategies and you go on and on. Eventually, when you dial all that in, you'll start squatting people and benching people, and you realize, like, man, there's a lot of things that go into that puzzle to make that happen. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you use this as a template to kind of move forward with your training, and it gives you a little bit of just outlook on how you can create movement for yourself and how can you start to target things that maybe bother you or you've been wanting to work on. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach me out. Look me up on the social media world as Coach Ledesma, and we'll catch you on the backside.